This is the Xiaomi Gaming Book or Gaming Laptop 2019. It's built like a tank, it looks really sleek and professional and has enough horsepower to run any AAA game that you might throw at it. Hey guys, Ash here from C4eTech and welcome to my unboxing and hands-on with Xiaomi's latest gaming laptop. And if you do end up finding this video interesting, subscribe and turn on notifications by hitting that bell icon. Let's now get this video started. The Xiaomi Gaming Book or Gaming Laptop comes in this rather plain looking cardboard box. We do have the Xiaomi branding to the top right and the GeForce and RTX logo to the top left. There's not much else to see here, so let's slice through the duct tape and take a peek inside. It's packaged quite well. I guess that's a good sign since that means the laptop inside is safe and sound. Anyway, after a few tries we finally have it open. The first thing here is the user manual, all in Chinese, so let's throw that away and take a look at what this slim book holds. Inside it we have the power brick for the laptop. This is a 180 watt brick. The other half of the box has an extension wire. It's got a Chinese plug, but that was to be expected since this is imported from China after all. Next, let's bring out the laptop itself. It kind of feels heavy. Taking the protective styrofoam covering off, here's the laptop wrapped inside a thin cloth sleeve. Taking it out, this is Xiaomi's gaming laptop, the 2019 edition. Love the matte black look. Anyway, that is pretty much it for the unboxing. Let's now take a closer look at the laptop. As I mentioned before, the Xiaomi gaming laptop, it's a bit on the heavier side. It weighs in at above 2.5 kilograms, but then we have this metal lid. It feels super solid. We can even lift it up with one finger, and there's a wedge here to the front that helps with that. Even the screen flex is minimal, and overall the laptop, it does feel solid. We have a very spacious glass trackpad that feels quite nice to touch. It supports Windows 10 gestures, and overall I am surprised to see such a good quality trackpad, especially on a gaming notebook. Now coming to the keyboard, this is not a standard layout, but then considering this is a gaming keyboard, I don't mind the sacrifice that Xiaomi made to fit in bigger keys. What I did mind was that these keys, the extra row, Amartya typed a couple of scripts on this laptop and he constantly had typos because of this layout. So I guess this will take a little bit of getting used to. So what are these keys for? Well, the first one is for ramping up the fan speed. Sounds like an aircraft taking off. But then there is a lot of airflow, so that should keep the temperatures under control. Underneath that, we have the 5 programmable macro keys. We can control them from Xiaomi's Gaming Box app. It's kind of like a RGB manager. Yes, this keyboard has 4-zone RGB. It's also a performance monitor and keyboard customizer all built into one. Now while we see everything is in English now, when we got it, it was running on Windows Home with the Chinese language pack. Just like with the Mi Notebook Air we took a look at a couple of years ago, it's not possible to change the language here as well, so we had to reinstall Windows on it ourselves. Of course, Xiaomi does make the drivers available, so setting it up wasn't a huge issue. Now coming to the screen, we have a really nice matte finish here. The resolution is 1080p. The biggest draw, of course, is that 144 Hz refresh rate. That makes this really awesome for gaming. But even for other professional use like editing a video or maybe some Photoshop work, this panel, it covers 72% of the NTSC color gamut, so it's good enough. We watched a couple of YouTube videos on it and the contrast, the viewing angles, everything, it was really good. As you can see, this panel gets quite bright. Overall, it's a really good looking display and honestly for the price, I'm quite impressed. That doesn't mean there are no cons. The bezels are quite substantial. And this is the maximum we can bend the display, and that is because the display rests on this floating hinge and there is a strip on the end of the laptop that prevents it from bending further. So why do we have this strip? Well, Xiaomi have tucked in most of the I/O to the back. So we have the charging port. There's this white band that glows when the laptop is plugged in. Next we have an HDMI port, USB 3.1 Gen 1 and finally a gigabit Ethernet port. So most of the long wires like that Ethernet cable or the charging cable, they are to the back where they won't get in the way of your gaming. I do kind of like that design choice. To the left hand side we have some venting, 2 more USB 3.1 Gen 1 ports and separate jacks for mic and headphones. The right side, it has more venting again. There's another USB 3.1 Gen 1 port, and finally a SD card reader. Okay, so the I/O selection is quite varied, and I would have had no complaints for it if there were a USB Type-C port. I mean, Xiaomi actually had it in their older gaming laptop, and this time they removed it. I'm not asking for Thunderbolt, which actually might have not been a bad idea at all, but to omit Type-C, that is a bummer, especially when the previous generation had it. Anyway, moving from the sides to the back, we can see there is this huge grilled bottom part. That's the air intake. We can also see the heat pipes as well as the two fans from here. That's a lot of cooling, and honestly we're gonna need it considering how beefy the internals here are. So what are the internals? Xiaomi sells a couple of variants. The one that we have here is the top of the line model. This is an Intel 9750H, a 9th Gen 6 core i7 with the cores clocked at 2.6 GHz with a 4.5 GHz max single core turbo. Amartya is claiming this as his own and has plans to undervolt and play around with the power limits to see if he can get better temps and more performance from the CPU and GPU. Would you guys be interested in seeing a general guide about laptop undervolting and overclocking? Let me know in the comments below and I will try to make that video happen. Now moving on to the rest of the hardware, we have 16 gigs of DDR4 RAM, a TB of PCIe NVMe storage, and then there is more room for expansion. We can fit in either a 2.5-inch SSD or hard drive or a M.2 based SSD inside. Do note that the secondary M.2 it's SATA and not NVMe. Okay, moving on to the highlight of this laptop, the RTX 2060. So this is a full-fat RTX 2060, no Max-Q stuff, which means we can play most AAA titles at very high to ultra settings at over 60 FPS. And that's something we will be testing out in depth in a full review. Do let me know which games you would want me to test out. Do you have any particular preferences? Which games would you want to see? Leave them in a comment down below. Now, of course, since this is a RTX card, we did try a couple of games with ray tracing on, and well, it still did manage to push playable frame rates. The Xiaomi gaming laptop, it's an absolute freaking beast. Of course, we didn't expect it to perform nearly as well as a desktop 2060, since, well, laptop form factor and all, so thermals as well as power draw is a concern. But other than that, this laptop outperforms anything else that we have in India at this price segment. And talking about price, the Mi Gaming Laptop, the 2019 edition, starts at 6999 yuan. That's about 71,000 rupees or nearly 1,000 US dollars. And that comes with a 9th Gen i5 processor, 8 gigs of RAM, a 1660 Ti, and a 512 gig PCIe SSD. It looks pretty much the same though. Now we have 4 other variants with the same i7 that we have here, but with the 1660 Ti, available in both 512 and 1TB variants, and then there's this 2060 edition itself with both 512 and this top 1TB version. So these are the prices, I've listed them on screen. So what do you think? Do they seem like excellent value for money? Xiaomi have promised to bring laptops to India this year. Do you think these are laptops you'd like to see in India? Would you be interested in buying a Xiaomi gaming book or a Xiaomi gaming laptop, the 2019 edition? Let me know in the comments below. And that's pretty much it for this video. And now it is time I bid you adieu. Thumbs up, thumbs down based on what you felt about this video. Subscribe, turn on notifications by hitting that bell icon if you haven't yet. And thanks a lot for watching. Till next time, my name's Ash. You've been watching C4E Tech, and I'm signing off for now. You guys have a great day. Bye-bye.